Hello everyone, and today we are going to discuss how to write an effective essay. If you want the notes of this presentation or have any other question, you can please DM me or contact me down in the comments below. So let's begin. So when writing your essay, the first thing that you're going to need is you're going to know what is the topic that you're going to write about. So for you to know exactly how you're going to write your essay effectively, you need to have a plan. You need at least to think and have a mind map. Get your book or get your pen, or if you have somewhere where you need maybe to type, then you can type and list the things that you're going to discuss. So you can either write them down if you prefer, or you can type them in a list form, or you can create a mind map whereby you select the main topic and then you have the subtopics below. So when you are going to narrow down your paper, the first thing that you're going to do is to make sure that you first of all have the core thing that you are going to discuss. That is the focused topic which you're going to discuss. Then you're going to narrow it down using the subtopics until you find a specific topic whereby you want to focus your paper. The next thing is you need to conduct a research based on that topic. Now, when you are going to conduct the research, you are going to use various methods. The first method that you can use is you can use the online sources. For example, the academic journals. Maybe you can use even from websites. You can use from Google Scholar, which is a good source. Other places which you can use is the library resources. So you can go to your library and take the physical books and do the research physically. You can also use the library resources which are maybe in your school, maybe even online school. There are always library resources or the books that you have been told to use as the main sources if you have been given the specific books. You can also do a survey or interview, especially if it is a thesis paper. Then you can go and interview someone personally, one-on-one, and they can communicate what you're going to write based on that topic. The next thing is you're going to have the outline or the structure of your paper, which is mostly or the most important part. So there are three parts which you need to write in an essay. These are crucial and essential. This is the introduction, whereby you give the background of your topic, and the thesis statement. Remember that the thesis statement is only one sentence which is at the end of your paper at the introduction, which states what the paper will be about. This actually guides your paper. The next part is the body paragraph. The body paragraph is essentially whereby you're going to take the topics or the main topics and the subtopics which you had already mapped out, and you're going to start writing the paragraphs there. So you're going to start with the topic sentence, which essentially is just to provide the reader with what the subtopic is talking about based on the main topic that you were given. Then you're going to present it with evidence and all the analysis or any sources that you have researched. You're going to put them in the body paragraph. Lastly is the conclusion, whereby you're going to summarize the paper and you're going to restate the thesis statement. So remember that in the conclusion, there is no new information that you're going to put there. It is only just restating and summarizing the entire paper. The next thing is now when you're writing, crafting the introduction. When you're crafting the introduction, you need first of all to start with a hook. Now the hook is going to grab the reader's attention. Now there are various ways on how to write a hook. You can check my other videos on how to write a hook, but essentially you can start with an interesting question. You can even start with an anecdote, maybe your personal experience. You can start with a quote, maybe from a prominent person, and so on. There's so many ways. The last part of the introduction, which is the thesis statement. This is the last sentence of the introduction, which clearly states what the essay is going to be about. Remember, the thesis statement is going to guide your paper. If the thesis statement is wrong, then the entire paper is going to be wrong, because if you state something that is not required in the paper, that means the entire paper is off. So keep that in mind. The next thing is we're going to develop the body paragraph. Now when you are developing your body paragraph, remember that you start with the topics sentence. The topic sentence, as stated before, this is the sentence which clearly states and indicates the main idea of the paragraph. So you remember that you had already taken the topics and the subtopics. Each topic and each subtopic is going to have its own paragraph. This paragraph, they need to have an idea, different ideas. Then the next, you're going to have the supporting evidence. The supporting evidence, they're going to back up your claim. These are some of the sources that you had researched, the books that you had used, or the interviews, or maybe even the online sources. You're going to put them there, the supporting evidence. So with this, we are going to further discuss it later on in my other videos, whereby we're going to talk about how to use supporting evidence such as the APA format, the American Psychological Association, the Modern Language Association, MLA, Harvard, Chicago, and the rest. So that we're going to expound later. And you'll remember that you have to show the analysis and the interpretation of your evidence. So it is always good to finish with your own thought or your own understanding of the paragraph. But remember that when you're writing, you don't use I or we or us unless you have been asked what is your opinion or what do you suggest. That is the only time that you're going to use. Otherwise, you only interpret the information that you have researched. In the conclusion, we are going to conclude the essay by restating the thesis statement. Remember that we said that the thesis statement is the last sentence of the introduction, which tells the reader what the entire paper will be about. So at the conclusion, you are only going to restate the thesis statement, stating that as the paper shows or as the paper depicts this and that. Then you're also going to offer your final thoughts, and if you have a call to action, then you state your call to action. You state what you think, or the steps that need to be taken for maybe that thing that you are talking about to be actualized. So here you're just giving you your own perspective. So always remember that once you have finished your paper, remember to edit and proofread your paper. So you should always check your grammar and your spellings and check the sentence structure. Remember that every paragraph needs to have at least 3 or 4 sentences, and every sentence should always be at least 20 or at least 15 to 30 words, not more than 30 words. So remember that short sentences are preferred, and always check your grammar and your spelling. So you can use other tools like Grammarly and maybe Qlbot. Yes. So I have other videos whereby I'll discuss about the grammar and spelling checkers. So you can check out the other videos too. So remember that when you are refining your content, ensure that it is clear, that the reader can understand, and you always strengthen your arguments. Don't leave gaps in your arguments, and eliminate any redundancies, any repetition, anything that is repeating over and over, anything that is not needed, you remove them. Only clear, refined content is the best. Always remember that when formatting, you should check your guidelines on the citations. Remember, if you have any DOI or any URLs, you should put them in your citation. If it is APA format, remember that you need to know how to format your APA, or if it is MLA, how to format your MLA. You can check out my other videos, or you can always just DM me if you don't know how to go about it. Thank you very much, and see you in the next one.